How do we manage our frustrations when we're being triggered? Often, in the heat of the moment, blame may be the automatic process, but we need to remind ourselves that it's our thoughts that create our emotions. We don't have to wear other people's thoughts and energy, but it can be difficult to detach at times, and so we may believe that the other person has caused us to feel a certain way. However, to remain calm and centered takes awareness of self. We need to be conscious of our own thoughts, aware of the way we think, the vocabulary we use, and perhaps even have an understanding of our ego mind. Having a deeper understanding of yourself helps to bring the focus back inwards when triggers occur. We then know that we are responsible for our own behaviours. That doesn't mean we become clones of the ideal Jesus, but it means we are prepared to own our emotions and hopefully take time for introspective work to understand why we feel the way we do. We cannot change anyone else or make anyone think what we think. Sure, we can guide their thinking or offer suggestions, but our thoughts are our choice, and we always have choices to change our thoughts by becoming conscious of them. If we find ourselves upset, triggered during a conversation or an experience, then we could help ourselves by understanding why we have reacted in this way. Be aware of the emotion that is dominant, be it sadness, guilt, resentment, shame, anger, rejection, abandonment, whatever it is. What is it that you feel? Ask yourself why this emotion has awakened. Where does it come from? By understanding yourself on a deeper level, you can change your thoughts, behaviours, coping mechanisms, and the default process of blame that can render us hopeless. Because while we use blame, we deny any responsibility of our own emotions. That's not to say we shouldn't feel emotions, but it simply means we get to understand ourselves better. And with this knowledge, we have choices that can offer different outcomes. Why is it that a group of people can experience something altogether, and yet they may all experience different emotions? Our past experiences are often our gauge by which we attune ourselves to. So our emotional responses are in fact often based on old experiences from the past, rather than what is actually occurring right now in the present situation. How bizarre does that sound to you? It makes us sound programmed, and essentially that is exactly what we are. But to awaken to become authentic, we need to become conscious of our thoughts, reactions, past experiences, and from this, with this knowledge, we can make choices, changes within ourselves so that we can step into our authentic self and lead ourselves with faith rather than supposedly protecting ourselves with false coping mechanisms that work like band-aids and eventually lose their stick. If you feel unhappy or less than your ideal self and are reacting to other people's actions or words, which are really just triggers offering opportunities for change, then maybe it's time for some self-reflection and take some time to understand why you feel this way. Take ownership of the way you feel. Consciousness or awareness of self is how you learn to move forward. Understanding yourself on a deeper level leads to self-acceptance, healing, and self-love. This is the key, and love is the answer. Thank you for listening to this video. If you find it helpful or interesting, please hit the like button. Press subscribe if you'd like to get notifications when I upload more content. And if you have any thoughts around this video, please feel free to comment. I'm Sammy, and I truly believe that love is the answer. Thank you for listening. Ciao.